Greetings and welcome to the Southside Help Center show. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. This is a live call in the show, so if you have any questions about anything that we're talking about, please give us a call here at the station. The number here is 312-738-1060, 312-738-1060, and we have Miss Shauna Mitchell over on phones, and she does a phenomenal job. Please don't waste your time. Give us a call here at the station. It's a live call-in show, 312-738-1060. We have a number of different things we want to talk about. You know, this has been a 13-week cycle, and we have really enjoyed you guys tuning in. And what happens is we talk about all of the different programs that the Southside Help Center has to offer. Southside Help Center came around in about 1986 by Mrs. Betty Smith, the founder. She founded the agency. And we've been doing HIV prevention and education ever since. We're now headed by Ms. Vanessa Smith, who's our executive director. So we truly would like to thank the founder as well as our executive director for allowing us the opportunity to serve you guys so well. 25 years is a long time in a community, so we really have truly been blessed as an agency to be able to stick around that long and provide prevention and education. I want to make sure that we put a focus today on prevention and what that exactly means, because oftentimes we talk about prevention and intervention and what does it mean. Oftentimes, most of the time, we do intervention. And intervention is when a problem exists. For most of you guys who've watched the show, when they do those interventions is after someone has completely become addicted to something, or a particular behavior has already been formed, and then they go in and try to do something to change it. When we do prevention, we talk about doing things before a problem actually exists, and that's why it's so important that you understand the work that we do. We talk about prevention, we talk about going into the schools, we start talking about how early this needs to take place, because oftentimes when we get them, when I say them, I'm talking about whether it's adolescents, youth, whether it's adults or whatever, most of the behaviors have already been formed. So now we have to go in and do interventions. We really like to do prevention, and that talks about HIV prevention, STD prevention. That talks about testing and counseling, how important it is. The Southside Help Center have a number of different programs. We do housing for HIV positive clients, case management. We have groups for HIV positive clients. We also do after school program for our youth. After school program where they help them with homework, where they have a number of different events that they go on a weekly basis. They actually have a movie night coming up this weekend, and we talked about that. So there's a number of different programs that the Southside Help Center has to offer, and we just really want the community to take advantage of those programs. And that's what's give us sustainability, is when the community is actually taking advantage of the programs that we offer and that they're benefiting from it. We always talk about our youth and what's important when we start talking about alternative programs. We start talking about prevention, what that means on a larger scale. We start talking about violence prevention, what that means. We start talking about STD and sexual sex. When we say sex, a lot of times people get all caught up with the word and how young you begin prevention. And this is what I talk about when we start talking about prevention in situations. Oftentimes, our kids, we have to create situations and circumstances so that when our kids come across these situations and circumstances, they'll know how to react to them. Because a lot of times we talk about peer pressure and how it can tear down 15, 16, 17 years of hard work. And that's why it's so important that we do these prevention programs, so that when our kids come in contact with these different things, they'll know what to do, or at least have an idea on how to prevent some of the things we start talking about. We're going to put it in perspective now. We're going to talk about HIV and STDs. We're going to talk about violence prevention, and we're also going to talk about alternative programs and why is it so important. We've been doing HIV prevention for years, and we've passed out a lot of condoms. We're a condom distribution site, a hub for other agencies. If you think that that's something you want to be a part of, we'll talk about that a little bit further along in the show. But what we're talking about is prevention, and it's so important that as parents we get involved. Last week's show was dealing with parental involvement, and why is it so important that our parents become involved in our programs. And we talked about how we need our parents to come in and meet the staff who's going to be providing the service, to come in and be a part of some of those activities, because it's important that our kids know that they have our support. All of these different things are what makes up prevention. You know, when they know that they have a supportive family member, it definitely will prevent them from exhibiting particular or certain behaviors. So it's important that we come together as a unit, as a community, and talk about these different things. But we're talking about prevention today. We're talking about why is it so important. One, we start talking about HIV prevention and STD, and this is a fact. You can go to any other Department of Public Health, and you can go look it up on the internet, and you look at how STDs are affecting our adolescent youth, how STDs are affecting, we're talking about 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, how it is just amazing how many of our young people are contracting STDs. That tells us a lot of things. When you start talking about STDs and how it's impacting us, it also talks about the fact that they're not using condoms. We always talk about the fact that HIV is also an STD, and the only thing it takes is the one time. So you got to think about the risk that our young people are putting themselves at, and then we have to talk about what we can do as providers, what we can do as parents to prevent these things. When we start talking about going into the schools, providing programs, and how early do we do that? We start talking about parental involvement. How early do the parents get this information and then begin to share it? You know, these are the things that we really have to talk about when we start talking about prevention and education and what we can do to begin to curb the effect of HIV and other STDs. And I'll say HIV and other STDs because HIV is an STD, but I want to make sure that I put that spotlight on HIV prevention and education because, again, some of these STDs, you can go to the doctor, you can get treated for them, you'll be fine. Some of them don't have any cure, but you'll still be fine. But we do know that HIV is a way different STD, and it affects people completely, not just the individuals, but their families as well. So we want people to understand that it is an STD and it's contracted in the same way. So if you're practicing high-risk behaviors, you're taking that same chance. So please, 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 when we start talking about condoms is safer sex. Let me say this. I don't want to offend those individuals. Start talking about sex. We want to talk about no sex, no drugs, no problem. If they abstain, no drugs, no problems. It's so important that everybody understand condoms and other things are safer sex. The only 100% way is no sex, no drugs, no problems. And we do promote abstinence. We promote it early on, and we talk about sex and its intent. So it's so important that as parents, that as providers, as teachers, that we get that component in there. We start talking about abstinence, but that goes into alternative programs. We can say don't do it, but why don't we do it? And then we got to talk about what to do in its place, because believe me, as your children grow and as they begin to get exposed to other individuals in other situations, those things do come up. So you definitely have to provide them with some alternatives, not just programs, but alternative solutions to actually having sex. It's so important that as parents, we get the right information and we're able to pass it along. And then when they come across providers like us, we can just reinforce the things that our parents have taught. And that's why we're always talking about parental involvement, and why is it so important that you as parents get involved, because you are indeed the first teacher of the child. So it's important that you teach them and start the process, and then we'll come behind and we'll complete the process. So it's a process that we all have to be involved with. We're talking about HIV prevention. This is the Southside Help Center show. If you have any questions, give us a call here at the station. The number is 312-738-1060. If you have any questions about any of the STDs, if you have any questions about any alternative programs or any programs that the Southside Help Center has provided, so please do give us a call here at the station, and we do thank you for tuning in. The other thing I want to talk about is we want to make sure we put the testing piece in there. People have to get tested and know their status. Is so important. We start talking about HIV and STDs, that people know their status up front. Again, free testing. The Southside Help Center has been offering free testing for a lot of years now. You can either call the office, 773-445-5445, and just simply ask and let someone, whoever the reception, know I would like to get a free HIV test done. They're going to tell you when you need to come in and get that done. We also go to community events all over the city of Chicago. If you are community planning a community event and you would like to have HIV screening, please give us a call, 773-445-5445, and we'll send somebody out in order to provide that service for you, because it's so important that people do know their status. The other thing about STDs, we're going to cover some of the STDs and their symptoms, because so oftentimes we, because I think we've been so well programmed through the years, we don't go to the doctor as often as we should, or we don't take warning signs seriously. And some STDs do have warning signs and some don't, so it's important that people know what those signs are. Again, if you think you've been exposed to an STD or HIV, go to the doctor. Go to the Department of Public Health. They provide STD screenings, and they'll be able to tell you if you have any of these STDs. So it's so important that you do go. But when you start talking about stuff like chlamydia and gonorrhea, you're talking about a discharge from the head of the penis or eyes in the vagina. We're talking about discomfort, be it burning or red or burning sensation. So those are some things that you want to look out for. Again, if you start talking about stuff like herpes is what happens is the depending on the time of exposure, what'll happen is a first outbreak is normally the worst outbreak, and it'll either be on the shaft of the penis or the walls of the vagina. There'll be a series of bumps that'll first form, and after the bumps form, they'll then rupture, and they'll become what we call open lesions, where when the herpes is most infectious, it'll heal and it'll go away. These are some of the things that you want to look for. If you've seen something like that, then you need to go to the doctor. Syphilis, again, blood tests. You have to go to the doctor and get your blood drawn, and they're going to talk about whether or not you've been exposed to syphilis. And so many of these things do have cure. We're talking about prevention. How do you prevent these things? And again, intervention is when we have to come in once a problem exists. Prevention is before a problem exists. So we want to talk about what you can do before these things actually exist. It's so very important that we take control of our own lives. When we start talking about STDs, we start talking about HIV, we start talking about prevention. The other thing we wanted to make sure we talked about, because we've been talking about our youth programs, and we're going to continue to talk about youth programs, because we truly believe that prevention starts early on. It starts when they're very, very young. And that's why we have so many programs at the center that deals with youth. After school programs, I cannot say it enough. If you have not gotten your kid involved in the after school program, please take advantage of it, because idle mind is the devil's workplace. We know that. Parents, we understand you have to work. We understand that you have to provide for your family. So while you're not there, put them in a place, send them somewhere where they can get some more directions and guidance, until which time you can come and get them, and then start the process all over. So we do have after school programs. They can come in right after school. We'll help them with their homework. I always talk about this as well. When you've been out of school for a very long time and they keep coming with these new and different things, most of the times as parents, we're not qualified, because we've been out of school 10, 20 years, 30 years, however many years you've been out of school, we're no longer qualified. And that's why we talk about programs like what the center has, where they have tutors, individuals who are still in school, who still are abreast of the new technology, for one, also the new methodology. So a lot of the different things that they're bringing in, they're more equipped to actually help them with. So parents, help us to help you get those kids involved in after-school programs, get those kids involved in alternative programs. Southside Help Center has been in business for 25 years. Our 25th anniversary is coming up. And we've been doing this for a long time, so please get your kids involved in after-school programs. Give us an opportunity to help you. And again, we're a community-based organization who was founded in 1987, and we've been doing HIV prevention and education, after-school programming, violence prevention for a number of years. We also have what is called a bank project. A bank project is another program who helps provide agencies like ours with technical assistance. Because we've been around so long, we have some different techniques that we use in terms of design, and we help other people to provide great quality services. So the bank project, if you're a small or community-based organization and need some assistance, give our bank project a call, and they'll make sure that you go through the proper channels so that you can get the necessary help that you need. A number of different programs. Also, we deal with YMSM, that's young men who have sex with men. We have programs geared towards that. So if you would like to get involved in those programs, please give Mr. Charles Nelson a call. You can if you call our main number, 773-445-5445, you can get in touch with any of the individuals that we're talking about. So please be a part of the Southside Help Center and help these programs not only to grow, but become more efficient in providing services for our community, because the community is who we hold first, we hold in the highest esteem. We also do street and community outreach. What that means is we bring the services to the streets. We get in the vehicles, we come out, we provide HIV prevention and education, we provide testing and counseling and a variety of different services. So please take advantage. We got a caller. Let me get the caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Okay. Listen, I was wondering, where are you located, and do you have any programs like learning computers for seniors?
Okay, we're located at 10420 South Halsted. It's 10420 South Halsted. And what we do have is we do have a number of different communities, a number of different computers that are there, and they're for the public, they're for the community. So if you actually came back, we certainly would be able to assist you in providing you with some necessary computer learning classes. We have Mr. Marcus Flanall, who is a phenomenal tech. I don't even know what to call this guy. He's so good with these computers, but he would be more than willing to assist you. And again, our address is 10420 South Halsted. We're right on 104th and 20, right next to Messiah Temple. So please come by the office, give us a call, and talk with Marcus or Mr. Flanall, and he'll make sure that you get the necessary guidance you need as far as getting some computer learning. So thank you for that call. Again, the Southside Help Center provides so many services. So if you're thinking something that you might need help with, call us. We don't know, but you don't know until you call, and maybe we could point you in the right direction. That's another service that we offer, is a referral program. Referral means that if you do call and it's not a program or service that we provide, we're going to try to point you in the right direction. So again, if you don't know, just give us a call. We'll see what we can do to help you. Caller, you're on the air. Yes,
I was calling to see, do you have people with a disability get their GED?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what we did. We did have that program last year, but this year we no longer have that program. But what we can do is refer you. If you give us a call, that number is 773-445-5445, and ask to speak to Erin Fletcher. And Erin can actually give you some direction, because she has a list of different programs who provide all kind of other services that's dealing with community, like, for instance, LIHEAP, weatherization, just a number of different services outside of what we do as a social service agency. So please give us a call and talk to Erin, and Erin should be able to point you in the right direction, because we do provide services or for referrals for other services that we may not have. We do have a holistic approach at the Southside Help Center, but if we don't have a program for you, we would definitely try to point you in the right direction to make sure that you get in contact with the right people. Caller, you're on the air. Yes, you're on the air, caller.
Hi, my name is Katrina Page Cooper. I was wondering, do you have a Doors case manager there?
Actually, we do. We do have a Doors case manager, and who you would need to speak to would be Miss Kim Slaughter. She is our case management director, and we do have a Doors case manager, and she'll be able to plug you into who it is you need to speak to. Her name is Kim Slaughter. She can be reached at 773-445-5445, and you'll be able to pull up her number, pull up her directory, and she'll be able to plug you into any services that you might need concerning the Doors case manager, because we do have a Doors case manager as well as a lot of other case managers. So please, if you have any questions, if you have any comments about the services that we provide, call us. Now, anything that I cannot answer, I'm going to make sure I put you in contact with those individuals who can. The Southside Help Center has been around for 25 years, so there's a number of things that we do provide. We offer a holistic approach to HIV prevention and education, after-school programs, case management programs. Also, we help point you in the right direction, talking about LIHEAP, weatherization, and all of these different services. Caller, you're on the air. Yes, you're on the air.
Hi, my name is Gabrielle Henley.
Hey, Miss Henley.
Hi, and I was wondering, how do I get somebody to come out and provide mobile HIV services?
Well, the only thing you need to do, Miss Henley, is call. You can actually call me at my extension. That would be 773-445-5445, extension 17. And all you would do is have to give me the time, the date, the place of your event, and give me a target audience, and then we'll come out and we'll provide free HIV testing and counseling for you, or whatever other services that we may have, because we do provide community outreach. So we go out and we provide all kind of services. So if you needed those services, give us a call, 773-445-5445. I can be reached at extension 17, and we'll set it up where we can come out and provide HIV testing and counseling to whatever type of community event you have. We do it for churches. We do it for community health fairs. We got a number of things coming up over the next few weekends. So if you would like that to come out and get tested or something of that nature, please do come out and give us a call. We'll be able to point you in the right direction. So thank you, Ms. Henley, for that call. Again, we're not the only ones providing great services. Our Department of Public Health is definitely a great vehicle who helps in terms of providing STD screenings. That's so important, because we do provide HIV testing and counseling, but the Department of Public Health provide all kind of STD screenings, and we've been talking about a lot of our youth who have been coming up with different issues, and we've been able to refer them. So it's so important that you know who's doing what and when and where, and that's what we're talking about at the Southside Help Center. So if you have any questions, and if we cannot point you in the right direction, or if we don't have that service ourselves, we will point you in the right direction. So please do give us a call here at the station. I'd like to thank everybody who's given us a call today. It's so very important that if you're thinking of something, that you please give us a call so that we can plug you into the right outlets. It's so important that we get this information out to the community. The community is who we serve. We've been serving the community for about 25 years, and we'd like to continue to do so. So please take advantage of our services. We're talking about prevention today. We're talking about testing and counseling. We're talking about after school and alternative programs. If you have children and you haven't figured out what to do with them, the school year has just started. Please send them to the center. We have after-school programs who deal with homework, who also deal with all kind of mentoring, male and female mentoring. So please get in touch with Ms. Erica Dawson and get involved in those programs. We're talking about parental involvement. Parents come out and be a part of those programs so you'll know exactly who's providing the services for your kids. All of these things are very important, but we cannot do the things that we do without you, not as a community, as well as parents, and as well as our youth who are involved. So we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Until we see you again, we bid you peace.